Hi, everybody. This is Deanna Kosaraju. I'm the founder of Global Tech Women. If you notice I'm in the dark, it's because I'm sitting in my living room because our guest speaker is sitting in the collaboration central over there where we've been doing all of the controls for this great conference. It's been just a real hoot, and we have a number of amazing sessions to come, including Lucie's right here. So she's going to be talking about the truth in becoming a real leader and in the trajectory of being a leader and how you use your core in order to become become great in and to be authentic and to be who you are. So I'm really excited about this session, and I think that you will enjoy it. A couple of housekeeping items. There's a live chat session over on the right-hand side. I notice we have some visitors in the audience. If you're a visitor, unfortunately, you will not be able to take advantage of that live chat session. You have to have an account on Spreecast. But if you're on Twitter, you can tweet the Voices 2014 hashtag, and I will be monitoring that Twitter feed, and I will forward any questions to Lucie that you might have. The rest of you can use a live chat on the right-hand side, and it's a great opportunity to network as well. And then you can use the question box that's below Lucie and myself to ask your questions, and we will queue those for her when she's ready to handle those questions. So I think a couple things. One, that this URL, this session will be available, the recording 30 minutes after the session has closed. So it's the same link that you used to get in here will be the recording. And also feedback is really appreciated. If you see something that you like or something that we're missing this year, this is version 2.0. We learned a lot last year and we're continuing to learn. So your feedback to us is important for the future of this conference, that we bring you what you want. So please email me, Deanna@globaltechwomen.com. You can join our amazing Facebook group, which is just incredible. We talk about issues about women in tech all over the world, or you can tweet it. And we will be taking all that feedback for version 3.0 in 2015. Wow, can you believe that? So with that, I'm going to go off air. And Lucie, even though it says Deanna Kosaraju, that is not her. That is Lucie, but she's using my account.
Hi.
So
We'll discuss your wallet shortly.
okay, that sounds good to me. All right, so I'm going to go off air, and Lucie, you can take it over and just give me about 20 to 30 seconds to put up your slides. Oh, the slides. So I'm going to put up these slides, and you will be able to drag and drop these slides anywhere on the screen you wish. Lucie doesn't control them, so you control them. So as Lucie's going through this presentation, we will let you know what slide number we're on so that you can follow her along. But dragging and dropping it to a place that's good for you and moving along and advancing the slides is your responsibility. So with that, I'm going to go now. Here you go, Lucie.
Hi. uh, Before we get started, my name is Lucie Newcomb, and I'm head of a company called NewComm Global. We started doing international marketing, and as I started to help companies overseas, especially in emerging markets, it became clear to me that in order to stay competitive as a brand builder and as a revenue generator, companies needed a lot of extra skills and capacity. So, in that regard, I began to deepen my own leadership practice, and in doing so, helped companies embed their brand and revenue streams. So, as Deanna loads the slides, before we get started in the content, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you to join with me in saluting the global leader of the day, Deanna. Let's give her a big hand. So, it looks like my slides are up now, and let's get started. We're going to have a mini workshop format today. There are many books written about global leadership. We could spend easily the rest of the time. And uh, we could easily spend the rest of our time, probably throughout the weekend and the rest of the year, talking about the different theories on global leadership. Today, I'm just going to spend a quick moment talking about some of the overview, and then we'll get started in our own experience of moving into the first phase, declaring your truth, which is really creating your sense of global leadership for you. I'm new to this machine, so I hope you'll be patient with me. I think so. Here we go. It's a good thing I feel more confident about the content than the machine. Yeah, so in terms of what leadership is, we frequently have a concept that it is this second cycle, the executive business leadership. And certainly that's actually how I came into the leadership sphere. We often think of management as leadership, and those are really important subsets of what has become, in the last 10 years only, really, maybe 20, an interdisciplinary field for cultivating leadership in many spheres. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the differences, but today we're going to spend more time talking about what I would call the global citizenship aspect of leadership. And I hope that those interested in executive leadership will find this of value. This will not be the place where we talk about how to do your resume to get a job overseas or any of those kinds of things, but building capacity by beginning to just get in touch with this part of yourself. My firm spends a lot of time helping people build those capacities, and I know sometimes it's really hard when one is used to being an effective doer to go within and kind of tap one's own inner resources. So we're going to give that a try today. One of the ways that things change when one starts to look at the global leadership aspect can be seen in a very snapshot kind of format here. In classic leadership, in terms of a business setting, we tend to see this as a fairly elite position, generally ascribed to a role, specialized. The President of the United States generally doesn't have to worry about being perceived as a leader. His role gives him that attribute. When we move to the bigger set of leadership, we're tapping into an interdisciplinary area. So when I did my leadership master's, for example, I studied theories from political scientists, from biologists, from all kinds of people that have come to become leaders of the leadership field. One of the nice things about that is we go from an area where one has to be perfect or supposedly expected to be perfect to an area where there's lots of room to be a learner and to grow. Of course, not every environment encourages that, so it's an important thing to know where you are and which hat to have on. But one of the big things I've appreciated about delving more into the leadership area is learning that I don't have to be perfect all the time, and in fact, it really limits my growth. One of the other aspects is that we go from the idea of being a super specialist in our silos to being part of a whole and part of a system. Leadership really, as you noticed from the previous diagram, is about connecting all the parts for the greater good of the whole. And in this regard, we often move from a concept of achievement or accomplishment to contribution, or as I tend to see it, from ambition to service. This is, of course, a really aerial view of the things we'll be talking about today, but I wanted to set up a frame for you so that you could see where we might be headed next. So in order to begin today's session, the only thing you really need, I guess there's just a few, some pen and paper or a tablet, whatever your writing setup is for today, a quiet mind, a little imagination, an open mind, and an open heart. And we're going to begin today by moving into a quiet place. For some of us here in California, that could be tempting to fall asleep, and if you do, you do, but hopefully you won't. So we begin this place of just settling down, closing your eyes if you like, whatever is a more contemplative, relaxed, quiet place for you. And as you get there, you learn that you have had an amazing opportunity. You have won the opportunity to have coffee with your favorite global leader. This person can be alive or dead, can be a celebrity or not. Whoever comes up for you as an exemplary leader, particularly in the areas that you want to learn about or grow in. You sit down at the table in a nice, quiet, but well-appointed, maybe a tad elegant setting. Whatever is comfortable for you to have a conversation with someone who ultimately seems like an old friend. And you're amazed at how easy the conversation is. What was it like to forgive the people who imprisoned you, Nelson? Did you like being called an Iron Lady, Dame Margaret? And hey, how about that thriller dance, Michael? Did that work for you? Just take a few minutes to have this conversation and get to know your global leader and see what that is like compared to maybe what some of your perceptions were. Maybe just a minute or so for that. You'll have lots of time to take notes, and we'll come back here 3 times today, so you don't have to rush. It's just kind of an easy introduction. Okay, and right as you're enjoying yourself, your cell phone rings and you need to excuse yourself from the table. So as you do this, allow yourself to come back to your physical room. In this conference, allow yourself to be present in present time. And take a moment, maybe it's going to be a few minutes now, to write down 3 to 5 things, skills, qualities, beliefs that you really admire about this global leader. And then you're going to do the same for yourself. 3 to 5 things that you really feel are leadership strengths or areas you want to develop. Things that are hot buttons for you in global leadership right now. I'm going to take about 5 minutes to do this. Often when we talk about leadership, including global leadership, issues of judgment come up. That whole issue about the need to be perfect and then judging others as their need to be perfect for you. And try to just suspend those if you can. It's a place of discovery. Okay, so you should be starting to wrap up 3 to 5 things on your list for your global leader companion that you particularly admire, and 3 to 5 things that are top of mind issues for you in the leadership slash global leadership arena. as you look at the two lists, again, trying to suspend your judgment and just allowing everything to be okay. Nothing is in stone here. It's just a place to play. Take a look at where the similarities are between the two lists. We often attract leaders that either reinforce something that is a strength or help us bring forward an area we want to work on. So just take a minute to look at each list with appreciation and neutrality as best you can, and draw a rectangle around those that are similar on both lists. And where you have a pair of opposites, draw a circle around those. Now pick two of those, three or five or four, I guess, uh, areas from your list, your own list, and choose which two you want to explore with your global leader companion when you return to the table. So we're going to go a little bit deeper here. If you chose a quality like being a good listener, perhaps you're going to ask him or her how they became a good listener, how you could be better, or whatever is coming up for you. Or I really admire how you take on blah blah, and that seems like a lot of courage and strength. Can you give me some tips about that? Or I love being a cheerleader, and don't you too? Whatever comes to mind for you in terms of taking the conversation to another level. What do you want to know more about? This is probably your only chance to hang out with this person. So, what would you really like to know more about, and how, in terms of your own leadership growth? Okay, time to return to the table. Companion's going to be worried about you. Thinks you have an awesome phone call. So find that quiet place again, a restaurant, a pub, whatever is your environment for having this easy, friendly, in-depth conversation. And spend some time now with your global leader talking about the two areas you'd like to explore further. He or she is really there for you, really eager to assist you, and just uh, quiet enthusiasm towards addressing your issues and questions. Allow yourself to feel that sense of support. Have a little fun as you explore, and in about another minute, we'll move on. Okay, and as you start to, probably right as you start to get into things actually, but uh, this is about the point where you realize it's time to leave the table again. So create an easy transition for going back from your visualization, grounding your body and returning to the room. And at this time, we're going to take a minute to reflect on our conversations, jot down a few notes and perhaps some journaling. Reflection is a really key skill for leaders of today. I don't need to tell you how much noise there is, and especially business environments, but all environments, and that ability to create some space to think about what's going on and not just be in it could not be more critical than it is today. We're going to honor and claim that space for a few minutes while you take some notes and some thoughts about this process. Maybe some note some areas where you'd like to follow up. We're going to come back to this conversation one more time after that. This can be some very intense processing, so good job. We're on the homeward stretch here. Just allow everything that's been happening or not happening to be okay. This is a process for change. We're not bearing down for results. Allowing that part of our global leader to come forward. Okay, now from this place of reflection, we're going to move into creating our global leadership statement, which I have renamed Declaration of Truth. I wanted a little bit more proactivity and sense of dynamism than I felt leadership statement contained. It is really important, though, to have your own elevator pitch, if you like, for where you want to go based on what is coming forward within you and where that will take you further. So we're going to work now on our global leadership statement. There we go. Take another moment to just think about the conversations that you've had, the list that you've made, maybe some of the things you've been thinking about on this topic anyway. And we're going to take a minute to start to work with this easy template. And you can change some of the words if you like. This is just meant to kind of give you a boilerplate as a starting point. It's so easy for us to overthink and to want to contort things to be perfect. Again, this is just an idea of how to bring forward this part of yourself and what you want to then bring forward in the world from that. So I think everyone can read this, but I'll just say I, Lucie Newcomb, love being a global leader, especially because I really love people in the world. I am committed to making this happen every day and to deepen my contribution and capacities in calling forward the global leader in others, thereby making the world a better place. So that's my declaration of truth today. You may notice over time that yours changes. That's great because leadership is a contact sport. We're always moving and always moving forward, hopefully, and with some considerable bumps sometimes. So just allow yourself to be reflective here on all that's come up already, filling in these blanks for yourself. And I will be silent to let you do that for just a few minutes. I have a 2-minute warning now. We're starting to wrap that up now. Again, you can come back and play with this. You'll see there's additional parts in our conversation today where you can too. Just taking your claim and pulling yourself forward for the next step. Okay, and as we come back and start to shift gently as possible back to our global leadership conversation. We are so excited to share our declaration, draft as it is, raw as it may be, with our global leader companion to get some feedback and hopefully some support, but certainly some commentary. So we race back to the table, let it go, and your companion is waiting eagerly. But as you sit down, she says, "Oh, great, I can't wait to hear it. But first, I have some surprises for you." You're a little surprised yourself at that, and you're being polite, and you wait. And here she brings forward the first of three boxes and says, "Before you tell me your statement, I want to help you clear things up a bit. So I'm going to bring forward for you this box of relief. Open it." And you take this little jewel box in your hands. It's probably 3 by 5 inches. Apologies, I don't know the conversion for that. And you see how beautiful it is. It has a lovely velvet cushion inside. And in it is a small piece of paper and another small pen. And you remove them. And your leader says there may be a past issue that's holding you back. So many of us have things from our childhood and so forth that stay with us much longer than we know. And they may have even been protecting us at the time, but as we grow, we no longer need them, and sometimes they actually impede our progress. So I invite you to take a moment to think about that. What is there something there? And there may not be. You may feel completely like there's nothing applicable here. But you might want to just consider if there's an area that you would just assume you need to move forward. And if there is, see yourself at the table with your leader, writing it on your paper, rolling it up, and putting it back in the box. If you find a few, just start with the one that came first to mind. That's probably the one that's most ready to go. And then when you have a minute, take a minute in yourself in the room to just jot this in your notes as well, your journal. And then she says, "Great. Wow, that was a big relief. You're really ready to move on. So let's do that. Let's go to your box of self-knowing." And here she brings forward another box. Looks just the same. You open it, it looks just the same. There's a lovely little piece of paper and a beautiful pen waiting for your signature there. And this box is about people's other people's expectations for you. So many of us have people in our lives who mean us so very well, and particularly around the area of protecting us, have expectations of us, whether there are things they need from us or things that they think we should want. Or wouldn't you really rather stay at home? Or wouldn't you really just rather work at a department store? All things that are very well intentioned, but really don't align with who you are now and where you want to go. So all you need to do here is pick one of those things. I was supposed to be a home economics teacher. My parents wanted me to be a nurse. My aunt wanted me to be a nun. And just validate for yourself that you know what you want and you easily release others' wants for you. With loving thanks. It's easy to get annoyed and frustrated and resistant. Those only hold things on tighter. This allows you to just acknowledge them, and many times they're actually well intentioned, and to just move forward easily. Okay, you grab your declaration now and think, wow, I've done all this amazing process work I didn't plan on. I'm really ready to share now. But there's one more box. This is the box of bestowing or blessing. Now that you've done all this clearing from the past, this box augurs for you a bit of your future. Some might call it the box of blessing, but it is a place for receiving. In the past two boxes, you did a lot of work and activity. This is the place to just receive. I open to the new with joy, knowing that as a global leader, I co-create the future. You know the routine by now. You open the box, there's your trusty pen and paper, and you write down. After sitting with just a moment's reflection, what is trying to be born now? Now that you've cleared away the voices of others and the things that may have held you back in the past, at least minimally. Obviously, this can be a very detailed and lengthy process, but you've started to create the space for the new just by releasing the old, even just the most minimal amount. What might be coming forward here? However wild and crazy, President of the United States, Queen of England, that could be a problem, but whatever. Whatever comes up for you. Mayor of my city, successful with my accelerator, funded by next week. What is coming up for you? Take a moment to write it visually on the pen and paper and put it in the box and take some notes there as well. Feel the release and the shift and know that we are moving quickly with really monumental changes, creating incidents. So it's easy to think about what might not have been accomplished in the last few minutes, but I invite you to think that maybe it's more than you realize. Okay, says your companion. Well, now that we've done some work here, let's see your statement. So you go ahead and share this with your global leaders. You get some feedback. You particularly focus on what might be trying to be born in the last box that you worked with and how that might impact your declaration. One of the key things about global leaders in particular is that they foster a sense of emergent or becoming the best self, the best global leader in others. Is that in your statement? Did you want it to be? Then the global leader has one last surprise for you. Here she says, I haven't been entirely honest with you. I've really enjoyed being with you today, and all of the wisdom that I've given you is the best I have to offer. But as you can see, this is not really who you thought. And at this moment, the global leader puts his or her hands to her face, pulls down a mask, and shows you a mirror. This leader has represented the parts of yourself that have been trying to come forward as a global leader all along, helping you to get a sense of what it's like when you as a global leader bring forward the best in others from deep within themselves. We all want to attract knowledge and capacity building from the outside sources, but ultimately it's really up to us and what's inside. That's part of why we call our business motto global business from the inside out. You're working with the deepest part of inside today. So congratulations. In the words and paraphrase of Carl Jung, you have chosen to become. So now take a deep breath as you and your leader leave the building, smiling, contented, knowing there's more to do, but happy with what's occurred. And start to return to the room. Feel your body, maybe shake over a little bit. Take a deep breath. This is the present. You're in the here and now. We're going to open up for sharing in just a moment, but I invite you to take an opportunity for just a moment or two prior to write down any notes you have that you want to be sure you've captured in your journal or in your notepad, on your notepad, for further reflection and follow up later. Just take a moment or two for that, and then we'll move into sharing and questions. Are you the same person that you were an hour ago? Is your declaration even the same? This is a little checklist for yourself for what to follow up on when you're by yourself later and aren't pressed to move on, like I have to do in a moment. Okay, I'd like to open up the floor now for questions and comments. And if anyone would like to share their declaration, I think we'd all really benefit from that. So thank you for your time and engagement to date, and let's have a conversation in living person. Everybody's really quiet. Does anyone want to share their declaration? This is a place of hopefully support. I'm certainly here to support you. Deanna, I'm not seeing any questions and I'm not familiar with your machine. Am I missing anything? Okay, thank you. I thought maybe I was missing, I was supposed to push a button or something. Wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for participating and engaging at whatever level was comfortable for you. I invite your questions and comments later. And I'll just close by saying the world needs, okay. Uh, I'm not seeing it. Can you come help me? I don't, I can't see it. Maybe I have things in the wrong place. I'm sorry.
Is this
Oh,
sure I
there.
can share?
Oh, great.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you. I was looking in the wrong place. Okay, this gets to be the part of humility in global leadership. Thank you, Deanna. Okay, hi, Rose. Let's have you share. That'd be great. I can't hear anything. I know, I need your help. Oh, oh, okay. Great, I can read them back. Hi, Rose, can you type your response? Because we can't hear you. And then I'll read it out.
Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, there you go. I like helping people to grow and committed to honing better leadership skills. Will
Great.
get myself a mentor to further that desire. It's a really great idea.
That is a great idea. Thank you, Rose. I'll read that again since Deanna had to rush. I like helping people to grow and am committed to honing better leadership skills and will get myself a mentor to further that desire. Terrific. That sounds just great, Rose. And I've appreciated your comments on the Facebook group too. I've seen them there. Anybody else? Thank you too. Yeah, I apologize. I had a technical glitch at the last minute. I had to come to Deanna's, and so I haven't had a chance to familiarize myself with her machine. So this gets to be the humble leader working through things on technical level today. Thank you so much, Rose, and good luck with your mentor find. And contact me offline if you'd like for some suggestions. There are so many different mentoring programs, and if you're interested, I'd be happy to talk about the few that I know of and am involved with. Anybody else? Okay, great. We have another technical issue that we need to wrap. So I will just say thank you again for your participation and engagement, both here in the conversation and in the world. The world really needs great leaders right now who want to step forward and help others. And so congratulations, class of March 8th. Global leadership is yours, and I look forward to leading globally with you and learning from you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.